Hey, what's up guys? Domination on Bootleg, and I'm just going to get straight into it. This video I'm going to be talking about my favourite perks, some of my perks I always use, and why I always use them. So let's get started. So perks top 1, my first choice perk is, and always will be, Stutter Fan Pro. It has been in Black Ops and it is now. Stutter Fan Pro, I like to rush around in the enemy spawn, so having a faster reload is pretty much essential in my opinion, and it's a great perk, I enjoy using it. Without it, you reload quite slow, and I just don't like wasting that much time. So that usually be my first or second choice perk for perk slot 1. Moving on, also in perk slot 1, I enjoy to use Extreme Conditioning Pro. Only when I have a shotgun though, because shotguns, as you know, close range weapon. So being able to get to the enemy spawn in a quicker time, it just means that, you know, better chances of getting a better kill streak. So that's why I use Extreme Conditioning Pro. I only use it with shotguns though, nothing else. Obviously when I get my specialist bonus, then I'll have all perks, so I will have it then. But it'll never be my first choice perk for anything other than a shotgun. Now Scavenger Pro for perk slot 1 is the last one of my favourite perks. It is a brilliant perk, of course it is, but I never choose it over Stutter Fan Pro unless I'm using a assault rifle, such as the ACR or maybe the, what's it called, the G36C, that's it. When I'm using those two guns, I'll choose Scavenger Pro over Stutter Fan Pro because I'll be most of the time at long range and I don't really need to reload fast then. And with the ACR, the reloads, I don't find the reload that slow on the ACR. I can rush around the ACR and not be bothered by the reload. So that's why I use Scavenger Pro. So moving on to perk slot 2, my favourite perk in this perk slot is Quick Draw Pro. You'll see me usually always using this, either as my first choice perk or the first choice of the specialist perks, if you know what I mean. You know, you get to choose 3. Quick Draw Pro will either be first in that or just first perk overall. It's just, when you're rushing around, it's such a great perk because obviously you aim down sights faster, that means your accuracy will be more on target and just increases your chances of killing the enemy a bit more. Blast Shield Pro, I don't use it, don't see the need for it, I hate it in fact, so I don't use that at all. Hardline Pro is also one of my favourite perks. It probably is becoming my favourite perk in the game because if you watch the game in the background, I get 10 assists in this game. That's why I'm using this game, just because I was talking about the perks. I just wanted to give an example of one of the perks working to my advantage. So Hardline Pro, I'm sure you know by now that every 2 assists counts as a kill, so yeah, it's a brilliant perk, I enjoy using it. Assassin Pro. Now, I don't enjoy using it, but I do use it because everyone else uses it, so you'll be at a huge disadvantage if you don't. But it will never be, well, it will really be my first choice perk unless I'm in a lobby where everyone's using it, so then I'll chuck it on just for the sake of it. But usually it will never be my first choice perk. So, Overkill Pro, useless, don't use it. So moving on to perk slot 3, and we still got plenty of time left, so I might take this one a bit slow. Marksman Pro. Now, Marksman Pro, I don't use it as often as I think I should. Usually I'd use it on guns such as the ACR when I have the red dot on it, but other than that, I don't really use it. Sometimes when I'm using a sniper I might use it, but then it's hard to use that over Steady Aim Pro. But yeah, overall I don't really use Marksman Pro as much as I should. Great perk, it is absolutely phenomenal. So I should really use it more often, I think I might actually. But now moving on to my favourite perk in the game, easily, Stalker Pro. At first, I wasn't comfortable with Stalker Pro, obviously because he was moving faster and I was put off by it, but now, amazing perk, and if you're not using it, I think you're playing at a disadvantage all the time. If you strafe, then, obviously as you know by now, it's about 2 months into Modern Warfare 3 now, I think, not sure. When did it come out? Well, it's more than 2 months actually, it's quite a while into Modern Warfare 3 now. So strafing, it just increases your chances yet again. The opponent will be put off by the constant moving and the accuracy won't be spot on, so yeah, it just increases your chances of survival, and it's my favourite perk in the game easily. Sit Rep Pro, I've started to become more addicted to Sit Rep Pro. I have a headset, so obviously Sit Rep Pro increases the enemy's footsteps, makes them louder to be more specific, and It makes a huge difference. Of course you can hear them anyway, but Sit Rep Pro just makes it all that a bit louder. So yeah, that's that. And Steady Aim Pro, probably my second choice in the perks.3 of my perks, obviously. Next to Stalker Pro, I use Steady Aim Pro. If I wasn't using Stalker Pro, Steady Aim Pro would be on submachine guns, usually with rapid fire, because I like to spray from hip more often, and it's a beneficial perk, and doesn't really know what else to say on that. Wait, what does the Pro thing? Pro ability allows you to aim down a sight faster after sprinting. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I use it, because I sprint around often, obviously, as you do when you're rushing. So being able to aim down sights faster after sprinting, huge bonus and huge benefit to me. So that's why I use that. And moving on to the last one, Dead Silence Pro, or Dead Silence. I don't use this that often. I'm not gonna try and feed you a load of rubbish now. Great perk, but I don't really feel the need for it myself personally. Of course, if you're not too confident in your gun skill or abilities, then by all means use it. But myself, I want the enemies to know I'm coming. That means they'd be hopefully coming over to me rather than me having to chase them down. So yeah, that just gives me an advantage there, I believe. But I don't often use it. It would definitely not take preference over Steady Aim Pro, Sit Rep Pro, or Stalker Pro, or even Marksman Pro. Dead Silence Pro will actually be my last choice perk in Perks.3. So overall, my usual loadout would be starting from Perks.1, Sleight of Hand Pro, Hardline Pro lately, and Stalker Pro. I'll always be using Stalker Pro unless I fancy a change. In Perks.2, I might change it up to Quick Draw Pro sometimes, but that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys. See ya.